Berman Books Media is proud to present Making It in High Heels 4 Women of Philanthropy and Charity. Edited by Nicolette Hernandez. Narrated by Sydney Van Delft.
Alicia Pereira, Finding My Perfect Fit. I think from a young age I've always been searching for my perfect fit. I grew up the youngest kid of an entrepreneur and banking industry professional, whose greatest achievement, as first-generation immigrants, were their 3 kids. Aaron, a handsome guy's guy, who we all knew would achieve greatness as we got older. He's now a doctor. Andrea, a gorgeous brainiac, who from a young age showed how smart and talented she was with finances, numbers, and planning. It's no wonder she is as successful as she is today. And then there's me, Alicia. I was always the loudmouth of the group, taking up everyone's sharing time at the dinner table and always getting in trouble for being up to no good. For as long as I can remember, I excelled at the social game, but not necessarily the game that everyone else was playing. While my brother and sister were studying, I would find creative new ways of making cheat notes appear on pens, jeans, hands, and even calculators. It was dedication and became exhausting quickly. The amount of time I focused on not studying was time I'm sure I could have spent on actually studying and achieving the same mark. I remember before my high school geography exam, I slept with my textbook under my pillow in hopes I would dream through each page in the textbook and memorize all of its content. That was by far the worst exam of my life. I remember at one point I resorted to drawing funny pictures beside the blank answers because I figured maybe my professor would give me marks for making her laugh. Turned out not to be the case. I passed the course by the skin of my nose. One evening at the dinner table, my parents were talking about college and university. Back then, and it wasn't too long ago, there was a kind of stigma that only smart people went to university and less dedicated people went to college. My parents had mentioned that they were so excited for their kids to all have something they could only dream of at our ages, further education. They went down the line talking about how important school was and trying our best. When they got to me, I remember them saying, "Now remember, Alicia, just because your brother and sister are going to university doesn't mean that you have to. College is not a bad thing. University just isn't for everyone." My parents are super loving and have always supported all of their kids, while amazingly treating us equally. So it's not like I lived with the parents from Matilda or the aunt and uncle from Harry Potter. But my parents were totally right. I remember understanding exactly what they meant at the time. School just wasn't what I excelled at. I was more a sports and hands-on learning type of gal. One thing that I excelled at in school was English, specifically writing. I loved writing. I could be transformed into my own reality and make myself the hero, villain, or even the athlete who scores the winning goal of the championship game. Being able to create a powerful story with my mind, or tell someone's story through my interpretation, always made me feel like a puppet master. I always loved when people would read my writing and tell me how they interpreted it. I wasn't just good at it, I was great. During high school was when I started figuring out what I wanted to do in life, or so I thought. A few years ago I read an astonishing fact that said my generation, which is only about 10 years older than your generation, would change careers a minimum of 3 times. 3 times. My mom has happily worked at the same company for more than 30 years, so how the heck can I change not just jobs, but careers 3 times? Fun fact, I'm 27 and currently on my 2nd career. Writing came pretty natural to me, so I started to look into places that would help me foster that talent. I found journalism. I began writing for my local community magazine, the Canoriant Contact, and quickly became the youngest editor they ever had. At just 16 years old, I was editing, with the help of an amazing team, a magazine that was seen by hundreds of people. It was a great way for me to foster my talent and help me build on my passion for all things writing. I remember thinking about telling my parents what I wanted to do, and internally questioning that maybe they would want me to do something else. I wasn't sure that my South Asian parents would approve of a job that for the most part didn't come with health benefits, and unless I started off as an anchor, even Anderson Cooper didn't start off as an anchor. It didn't pay the best. I painted a picture in my head. My mom would cry, because she always does, and my dad would tell me that although they would support whatever I wanted to do, he didn't come to Canada to provide a world full of endless opportunity for his kids just to have his carefree daughter become a journalist. I'm so glad looking back that I have an open relationship with my parents. I'm honest with them, and they are just as honest with me. So when I told them about wanting to be a journalist, they literally said, "You'd be great, so what's your next step?" Looking back, I wasn't surprised, but I'm glad I went to them for support. It always feels better when you have the support of people who love you. And if you're listening to this and you don't, there are a lot of places where you can find it. Remember, it takes courage to follow your dreams. People who don't follow what they set out to do generally are too afraid of failing. What you have to remember is that everyone who is successful has essentially failed dozens of times. The more successful they are, likely means the more failure they've been through. I was lucky to have an amazing support system with my family, friends, and mentors in the writing community that I could really rely on for honest feedback. Look for those people and reach out to them. I have loads of students that contact me all the time for feedback, advice, and help, and I'm always happy to help. Remember I mentioned that I'm now in my second career? Well, journalism didn't work out the way I wanted. It wasn't that it was too hard, and it wasn't that it was too easy. It's just that it wasn't for me. Those are things that you will find out along the way. Who knows? Maybe I will go back to the wonderful world of news. But right now, I am enjoying what I'm doing. That's the purpose to life, to live each day having more fun than the day before. Trust me, whenever one door closes, another two swing open so hard that it draws you into a whole new world, and you can't remember anything before it. Currently, I work in communications for a charity close to my heart, World Vision. I am able to travel the world bringing stories from underprivileged communities to Canadians. I love helping others. You grow a lot and find who you are through meeting and interacting with people that you've never met before. There is a sense of unparalleled gratitude you get from talking to a mother about her hopes and dreams for her child. It reminded me of my mother, who grew up living in poverty. My grandmother hoped for a better future for her kids, and my mom is amazing. So if I could help even one child grow up to be the type of mom mine is, then I've made the world a better place. It is also important to give back to those who are not as fortunate. Remember that as you grow into successful adults. One of the things I am fortunate enough to do is speak to students about new media, social media, public relations, charities, and how they all interact with each other in today's modern, fast-paced world. Recently, I was a guest speaker at a university PR class, and I was asked by one of the students if I could talk to my 15-year-old self, what would I say? I had to think about it. You see, I wouldn't tell myself to do things differently, because everything, every heartache, every fight, every failed test, every feeling of insecurity I felt back then has led me to right now. And let me tell you, right now kicks ass. Life is beautiful. We are living in a world full of opportunity. But I know sometimes in high school I doubted that I would ever find a career and a purpose in life greater than me. I started telling the students that I would tell myself to keep doing what I was doing. I would tell myself to keep being me. Here's what I would tell my 15-year-old self. Dear high school self, I'm proud of the person you are right now. What you are doing is important. School, sports, friends, family, they are all key to your future. I want to tell you a few things from the future. You need to get out of the box and be open to exploring life and the world. It's very important. Seeing how others live their life and appreciate what they have will make you a better daughter, sister, friend, cousin, and in 10 short years, even a wife. The luckiest one in the world. Make sure you look out for others and follow your gut. When you think you don't fit in, remember how loved you are by so many people. When people tell you not to jump at new opportunities, just do it. You are an explorer by nature, so don't let anyone hold you back. I'm not going to tell you too much, because you have a fun life and are about to embark on the most important years. Don't waste your time on getting caught up in the everyday drama of high school, where everything seems like it's the end of the world, because it's not. The world is a lot bigger, and you will soon find your footing. Stay on track with school. It's important. No one can take away your education. If you find others that don't fit in and others make fun of or criticize, comfort them and stick up for them. It may not be the cool thing to do, but as a leader, others will follow you. Make sure you tell them that it gets better. Finally, if you can, write a book about vampires, werewolves, or hobbits. It totally becomes a phase in Hollywood. Live life and have fun. Your life only gets better. You volunteer overseas in university, and it changes your life completely. You are able to see how people live thousands of miles away from you. It lights up something inside you and starts you off on a new career path, one that you never saw coming. Above all, you meet the man of your dreams and get married in your mid-20s. You haven't met him yet, so have fun and don't waste your time. Love is a treasure, and marriage really is the best. It's the greatest feeling to see yourself through the eyes of a person that adores everything about you. Treat it with care. Be open to it, and be sure to love loud and proud. I hope you find the beauty in life and in others, peace, happiness, and always make room to follow your dreams. Cheers, Alicia. Caroline Jones, singer, songwriter, and founder of the Heart is Smart initiative. The heart is smart. Children embody creativity that defines human nature. A child's imagination is full of wonder. As a little girl, I spent hours drawing pictures, painting with watercolors, and writing stories, plays, and poems. When I began singing lessons at the age of 9, I immediately recognized music as the alchemist for all creative mediums I loved. Words, colors, textures, and emotions. Lyrics and melodies began to take the shape of songs soon after. I recall feeling the same passion and creative inspiration that fuels me now as it did as a little girl. Indescribable excitement and awe for the ideas that arose from my imagination. As a child, I never thought to second-guess or criticize my ideas. My fearlessness as a child didn't block any inspirations that came to mind, and without having the self-consciousness of an adult, it allowed my ideas to flow freely. Children possess innate courage, a word that stems from the Latin root cor, meaning heart. Uplifting, inspiring, and providing a medium of expression through music is my passion and life's purpose. I founded the Heart is Smart initiative, which is a nationwide school tour, its music curriculum, and the movement of young dreamers within. I have built my career as a singer-songwriter, touring hundreds of schools across the country, elementary through colleges, public and private, performing my acoustic, storytelling-based show, and conducting master classes in vocal performance, songwriting, and modern entrepreneurship. Music serves as my portal to wholehearted, joyful living, compounded through service to others. The Heart is Smart program developed from my desire to connect and give voice to young people who shared my vision for a more inspired, self-empowered, and creative generation. As the Heart is Smart movement expands, I frequently find myself in a leadership role to many young men and women full of questions. How do I write songs? How can I begin building a career based on my own vision? How do I find the courage to follow my dream instead of succumbing to the expectations of others? How do I express my emotions intelligently, creatively, and constructively? I'm continually amazed at the number of young, eager hearts that are opened and impassioned through music on the Heart is Smart tour. In a recent email following a performance, Cache, a high school senior at Golden Arts and College Prep Academy in Columbus, Ohio, wrote, "The words of your songs and advice on happiness really resonated with me. This morning, I was feeling really down and insecure about myself, and after I left your concert, I felt so comfortable with myself and back to normal, loving my impurities and imperfections again. Your songs are very inspiring, and I'm glad you're touring schools, trying to make an impact on kids. You inspire me and make me feel like my voice can be heard. It makes me really want to take charge and strive to inspire others as you have inspired me." The cornerstone of my intimate acoustic performance is authentic storytelling, evocation of pure and deep feeling across the spectrum of emotions. Great art, particularly music, gives voice to our within, which is sacred and universal. Great art resonates and touches the human heart, and for this reason, human collectives have composed, played, listened to, and gravitated towards music since time immemorial. In the mystic ancient art of alchemy, base metals transform into gold. Similarly, music softens the base metals of isolation and fear, uncovering the golden potential for good in the human heart. The invitation, "Let's play," sums up my intention each time I step on stage. Every heart beating in the audience desires to feel connected and to resonate with who they really are through music. This unity represents the highest purpose of music, one that I approach with humility and gratitude. At its best, the concert experience is a transformational one in which both the audience members and the performer leave with a sense of passion, peace, and lightheartedness. I have thought a great deal about the art of performance as an act of service. I have spent much of my life studying gifted performers, who create through song an environment of great love and harmony, no pun intended. I have observed that great performers practice the ability to serve as a vessel for the kind of authenticity and evocation of emotion that compels the audience to listen, feel, and connect. To bring play, childlike passion and wonder, into a performance is an art born from experience, self-awareness, and mastery of craft. To perform without interference of negative emotion requires a strong foundation of technique, a depth of professionalism acquired through experience, and a strong trust in oneself, regardless of an audience's reaction. In his book, Free Play, Stephen Nachmanovitch references the German term Funktionlust, the pleasure of doing. A performer must couple the joy of expression with a sincere intention to uplift and inspire the audience. This level of pure expression requires a certain level of detachment, tempered by razor-sharp perception of the audience's state. The audience gives the gift, the privilege, the honor of their attention to the performer. This pact carries enormous responsibility and potential for transformation. To hold the sacred offering of the conscious attention of others without allowing it to obstruct the purity of expression in performance is the measure of greatness. Only the best performers master this art. I seek to accomplish this balance between total awareness of the audience's level of engagement and complete surrender to the music. If the performer has too keen an awareness of the audience's perception of her or her performance, then she is following, not leading, and reacting, not inspiring. The art of performance is a very fine balance. Spirit of the Earth, one of the original songs in my show, pays homage to the generation of students who will create the new world. The first verse states, "We will raise our voice as one. At the setting of the sun, we will dance until the dawn, tell the story how we want." I share with the students that if music changed my world, it can change the worlds of others. As a unified collective, our beliefs and actions are extremely powerful and hold enormous potential for good. After I performed Spirit of the Earth at Plank Junior High in Oswego, Illinois, a 6th grade boy shared, "I don't know about the whole world, but you sure changed Plank's world today." The hallmark of my radio show, Art and Soul, is collaboration and storytelling. The show, which airs on SiriusXM's The Coffee House, delves inside the art of songwriting to the soul of the song, hence the name Art and Soul. SiriusXM serves as a platform on which to share my musical values. Each show features a guest singer-songwriter with whom I swap stories and songs in the spirit of a Nashville guitar pull or songwriters round. The guest and I share the stories behind our songs, duet on each other's songs, and discuss the messages and intentions behind our artistry. The spirit of collaboration that fuels Art and Soul in turn inspired the Heart is Smart project. The Heart is Smart project, my newest venture, is a college tour and collaborative album featuring student arrangers, composers, instrumentalists, singers, and recording engineers at music colleges and conservatories nationwide. At each stop on the Heart is Smart college tour, I stage recording sessions of my songs with student choirs, string sections, orchestras, jazz ensembles, rock bands, you name it. The Heart is Smart project provides college students the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and record my music with me, to attain professional credit, to experience a recording environment, to take part in the grassroots movement of young talent who will one day lead the new music industry. I will coalesce the recordings we capture on tour into an album whose sales will benefit each school's music scholarship programs, as well as the student arrangers. The most exciting part is that the album is entirely student-driven, arranged, performed, recorded, and produced by super talented and passionate college students who seek to build a career in music. I believe that in the future, education will focus on nurturing the inherent creativity of children. I believe that education will emphasize each heart's uniqueness, goodness, and gifts. The human ability to focus through thought and cultivate awareness of emotion distinguishes us from all other earthly creatures. Each person has the potential for and ability to tap into the infinite stream of ideas that have inspired and guided humans for millennia. It is my sincerest intention to foster this within each of the students I encounter. However, as Stephen Nachmanovitch writes in Free Play, many people have conditioned emotional habits that prevent access to the wellspring of inspiration available. The inner obstacles, as Nachmanovitch refers to them, consists of self-doubt, fear of rejection, dependence on rules, impatience, and rigid expectations. He expands, "What we have to express is already with us, is us, So the work of creativity is not a matter of making the material come, but of unblocking the obstacles to its natural flow. The creative material that Nachmanovitch refers to originates from reflection and receptivity rather than force. The spectrum of emotions experienced over the course of one's life provides endless potential for inspiration and creative expression. Life's twists and turns result in learned lessons, help us understand more deeply, and create anew. These essential accidents add richness and depth to the palette of feelings a performer can paint with. Nachmanovitch, 89. Obstacles also contribute to personal and artistic growth, provided that a foundation has been laid of faith in the rightness of our aim, in the integrity and mystery of our own evolution. 149. I know firsthand the potential for growth and fruition hiding in life's challenges. For a few of my teenage years, my natural creative wonder was obscured by insecurity and perfectionism. I allowed the opinions and expectations of others to guide my choices, rather than listening to the inner voice that had guided me towards inspiration and creative fulfillment since childhood. I believed that if I lived up to the model of perfection defined by others, I would win approval and attain happiness. I checked all the boxes in the traditional definition of success, but in doing so, I lost my connection to my heart. The well of inspiration that had manifested in my songs, stories, poems, and plays seemed to have dried up. In his masterpiece, The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho writes, "Don't give in to your fears. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart." Negative emotion manifests to alert. This is not the path to happiness. Fear and insecurity obscure our true goodness. Each of us comes into this world with a gift and purpose, a means of contribution, creation, and service. Our emotions let us know how aligned we are with this destiny. I did not fully understand the language of emotion during my teenage years, but I did know that I had a creative gift. I felt that I had something to give, but I feared that if I trusted my heart, it would lead me away from fulfilling the expectations of others. Eventually, though, its call became stronger than my fear. I got tired of feeling numb and fake. I got tired of feeling rigid and tense. Author Anais Nin wrote, "The day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. The time comes when you prioritize your connection to your heart over winning the elusive approval of others. The time comes when you would rather be happy than perfect. The time comes when you define success for you. Every great man and woman has learned and practiced this lesson. Every great genius, sage, and artist has been a trailblazer, an innovator, a brazen dreamer." In 1997, Apple Inc. released a commercial featuring the slogan, "Think Different." Here's to the crazy ones, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. They invent, they imagine, they heal, they explore, they create, they inspire. They push the human race forward. Maybe they have to be crazy. How else can you stare at an empty canvas and see a work of art? Or sit in silence and hear a song that's never been written? The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. As an up-and-coming artist in this day and age, I am freer than ever before. Freer in terms of the musical tools available to me, as well as in terms of the sharing and distributing the music I make. Advancement of technology in the past 20 years has diminished the power of the gatekeepers in music. Each person now has the freedom to decide to listen to any song, anytime, anywhere. The tastemakers are no longer men in business suits, but young hearts eager for a feeling found in song. It is beautiful to me that so much richness and diversity of genres, instruments, styles, and people around the world are inspired and uplifted by the making of and listening to music. The floodgates have burst wide open, and many people in the music business are panicking. This climate of fear and greed stifles creativity. I, for one, am rejoicing. To remain an artist of integrity, purpose, and conviction, while remaining open to inspiration amidst this multiplicity and variety, is the new age challenge opportunity. It's one that I think will be the new criteria for artists in the future. The fine balance that I always trust my gut, heart, or inner voice to guide me towards is to make music with soul first and foremost. I know that people are as hungry as ever to be uplifted, inspired, and compelled by feeling to listen. I know this because I am. This connection is the market, not money, not sales, but shared values rooted in the emotion of music, from which true influence stems. I am so grateful to my musical heroes, Willie Nelson, Jewel, Mahalia Jackson, Dolly Parton, Jason Mraz, Robert Johnson, Zac Brown, for paving a path of artistic integrity that I may continue to pave. As a young person who is blessed to be living her dream, I will share that achieving your dreams requires that you first be happy and authentic where you are. There is no way to happiness, wrote Buddhist monk, teacher, and author Thich Nhat Hanh. Happiness is the way. Learn the language of emotion that your heart speaks. Commit to the practice of lining up your emotions, thoughts, and beliefs with your vision for who you want to be and what you seek to create. Greatness begins with the groundwork. Action and opportunity will follow. The path will become obvious to you. Like love at first sight, you'll know it when you see it. You'll know it when you feel it. Practice new beliefs. There is a call in my heart that will make itself known to me. There is greatness in my heart waiting to be unlocked. You will come to know your limiting beliefs by how they feel: negative, anxious, painful, sad, and dark. Once you begin listening to your heart, your limiting beliefs become more obvious to you. The heart has an intelligence of its own, separate from the intelligence of the mind. The heart cannot reason, memorize facts, or solve math problems. The realm of the heart is feeling. Emotion is the language of the heart, as are colors and brushes to a painter. Through the language of emotion, your heart guides you to make the best choices. The language is simple. Negative emotions arise when you are temporarily disconnected from your heart. Happiness is a simple result to the connection to your heart. An important acknowledgement: happiness is not selfish. It is your birthright. It is the basis of true love and compassion. The happier you are, the more you will feel inspired to reach out with true kindness to others. Embody authenticity and you will inspire others to do the same. You cannot help but uplift and serve others when you embody happiness. Albert Einstein wrote, "The most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or a hostile universe." That fundamental belief will continue to be evident to you. You create your life based on your beliefs. What you are comes to you, wrote American transcendentalist philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. Practice the beliefs that you want to perpetuate. Practice beliefs that align with the truth of your heart. Inspire passion, enthusiasm, kindness, and creativity. Pretty soon, you will see the contrasting negative emotions as helpful tools instead of personal flaws. It means the world to me that music can inspire the heart of another, as it inspires, impassions, and enlivens me. I live to follow my musical passion. It touches and amazes me that in doing so, I may inspire and serve others. In his book, The Golden Compass, Philip Pullman writes that life's highest purpose is connection. Each person represents an amalgam of stories and dreams shaped and colored by life experience. I will close here with a lyric from my song, Sooner or Later. Tonight we dance on the wings of tomorrow. Tonight elation is stronger than sorrow. Sleep, sleep, my darling. When you awaken, clear is your conscience. Day will be breaking. Your heart is stained glass, painted by the past, but the future's so bright. Chelina Kennedy, Finding Light in a Dark World. When I was a little girl, I wanted two things: to perform as much as I could and to help animals in need. I am now 36 years old, and I have been a professional singer, actor, and dancer for over 16 years. I've toured the United States, starred on Broadway, and recorded albums. Performing has been my career, and I've been passionately devoted to it since I was a child. I have made it in high heels, and have been extremely fortunate to be able to say that I have achieved many of my dreams. However, despite the success I've had, my desire to give back has always been present, especially to the most vulnerable beings on our planet. I'm the only child of a retired brigadier general in the Canadian military and a feminist ex-hippie mom. We moved around constantly when I was growing up, including several Canadian cities, the UK, and Australia. Moving around in this way exposed me to many experiences and allowed me to become immersed in other cultures, learning native languages, ways of life, and different customs. My parents made sure I traveled while we lived abroad, and I had the opportunity to see parts of Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and the Pacific Islands all before the age of 18. I saw the world as it was, not just as it seemed to appear from the windows of expensive hotel rooms or military bases. I was exposed to some of the worst poverty in the world and terrible abuse toward human beings and animals. This exposure was instrumental in my lifelong desire to become an activist. But before I launch into my early activist years, I must first share how I followed my creative path as a performer. When I was a baby, my parents would put headphones on me and play all sorts of music.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?